Roster review with Valley Flying, and we're going to talk about all kinds of fun things today. We're going to talk about T4's that I regret. For example, we're probably going to talk about the special on Shuri. We're going to talk about why YoYo is hype, right? YoYo is pretty hype. And everybody's like,
she is awesome.
Why is YoYo so good? People are like, I don't get it. And she's kind of like Size Supreme. And unless you play her, you don't get it. It's just like, whoa, YoYo is something. We're going to go review over T4's. I'm looking at my roster, my save squads, all that good stuff. First things first, I have a collection power of 5.8 million. And it doesn't show how many days I played anymore, but I played in soft launch. We're both on the same arena shard, which I believe is the second shard ever created. So you and I started early, you know, casinos there. Yeah, I played about 2 months in soft launch, and I've been killing it inside of the arena. We just go to the arena real quick, and then we'll go into... You've been killing it
at Ultima 7 too, dude.
Yeah,
I got to mention that. So, I don't know if you're going to brag about yourself, but your scores in Ultima 7 crazy.
Yeah, like 40, 45 million, getting to the right to the node before the boss. You know, it's been getting crazy lately. And a lot of it has to do with YoYo. So I haven't played since yesterday. You can see I've got 5 left, and I've got 7 hours. I'm holding at 4 overnight. You know what I mean? 7 hours until payout. So, and I use the same team on offense and defense. And the beauty of this team is that YoYo is really fast. She taps Ultron, followed up by Captain Marvel, and Ultron's gone. Basically, there's just enough damage to take Ultron into red, and then Black Bolt coughs and Ultron's deleted. Before any, I mean, they're so fast. Before anybody even goes. Yeah. Before Phoenix goes, before Black Bolt goes, before Ultron goes. I mean, because YoYo's probably one of the fastest characters in the game, and then Captain Marvel's pretty fast too. So there's basically never play with the opponent's Ultron turn 1. It's fun. There's definitely teams I can't beat. Let's just take a look at some other things in my roster. I have one character at...
I'm very curious to see your roster, because your scores in Ultima 7 have been very good.
It's a mess, right? Going to 14. I mean, what do you think about going to 14?
How many do you have?
What's that?
How many Gear 14 characters do you have right now?
There's one.
Okay.
Phoenix.
Same.
And it's
same.
I mean, Ultron's on his way, but boy, it takes forever, man. These pieces just are not easy to come by. And my thing is, I just want to get into Dark Dimension 3.
Gotcha.
I just want to get in. And then from there, I'll figure out my global and everything like that, because it's going to take 6 months to get through it. I mean, some of these nodes have 70 million, and I know I'm going to be lucky to get like 3 million per run, 3 million per day. How long is that going to take if I have to get 7 million damage? I mean, it's going to take 3 weeks.
A long time.
Yeah, 3 weeks to go through one node.
Math right now.
So I just need to get in and start the grind, you know. So we're going to talk about T4's, and most of this video is about T4's, and
let's see it.
Let's just talk about efficient T4's and T4's that I use. There's a difference, right?
Yes, and I think usage is more important than just an awesome T4, because this is a perfect example right here. That passive on Black Panther, awesome T4, awesome skill, but if you're not using Black Panther, or you're using him very sparingly, it's really not worth the investment of all those orange mats. Yeah,
so this is probably one of the better looking T4s on paper, because it will give Black Panther 100% turn meter on kill. And so if you're wiping out minions, he's just going back to back to back to back on assists. He's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It's a lot of fun. And on paper, this looks like probably one of the best T4s in the game, right? One of them, right?
It is.
As far as
it's a very strong
raw power of the T4. So the question is, why haven't I got it? It's because I don't use Black Panther. The end, right? I mean, I'll do some of these other T4s. It's because I use the character always. I don't have a place to use Black Panther right now. I'm just not using him. So
what? You're not running that ultimate the Wakandan raid team?
Oh no! I mean, goodness. I hope all the people that upgraded Wakandans get use out of them in the future with that.
I hope so as well.
Promotion credits. Anyway, so my theory on T4s is about usage. How often do I use the character? Am I using the character in my arena team? Am I using this character in U7? And then it might be war. it's kind of in that priority.
I agree 100% when you're going for logic, but
okay.
Sometimes for me, I just want to see what happens.
Okay, so Phoenix, she got all the T4s. She's at 14. She's going to be used in all game modes. Not so much raids.
Can't argue with that.
But I do use her on the mini boss nodes, on the second and third mini boss nodes inside of the raid. So she gets used there. Promise she's going to get used in Dark Dimension.
Do you revive her for the second mini boss?
No,
second or third mini boss?
Someone else gets it. You get it or the other guy gets it. So I only usually have to take one, and so it's not needed. Right. But one of the two, I can one-shot the third mini boss node with Phoenix and Invisible Woman. And I want to go to Invisible Woman.
All right. Ooh, nice.
I don't use her as much anymore. I just don't use her. YoYo has made me rethink Invisible Woman altogether. They're both protectors, and so I just don't use Invisible Woman at all anymore.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I think you did get your value out of her for so long. I know you were using her a lot for a few months at least. You got a lot of usage out of her, but yeah, since YoYo came out, that protector tag kind of limits what YoYo can do, so it's not worth putting them on the same team.
Yeah, you can't put Invisible Woman and YoYo in the same team, and I'm finding that YoYo's synergy with Black Bolt and then having a persistent offense down another team is more valuable than what, because there's no damage output on Invisible Woman, and U7 and timing out. What you really need is some utility, but mostly you need damage output. I mean,
yeah, if you want to one shot the nodes,
I mean, you want like you could run, Invisible Woman, Minerva, Scientist Supreme, and Shuri with Ultron and 2 or 3 shot every node, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to take the minimum amount of sustain in and get the most amount of damage output, and YoYo fills that slot absolutely. She has that persistent offense down, and she gives a lot of synergy and sustain to Black Bolt, and so she gives a lot more damage output while enough sustain in Ultimate 7. You using YoYo as well?
I use YoYo Black Bolt combo. I think I love them for the raids because, especially when you think of that basic for a YoYo, Black Bolt coming in and clearing 2 positive effects, I think that's a game changer.
So I absolutely regret some of these T4s right here, specifically her basic. I wish I did not do that. Anyways.
The other ones I like. The basic, the little questionable.
Yeah, the basic, not so much. The rest of them, not useful. YoYo changed a lot of things. Same thing here on Shuri. Now, I use Shuri. Shuri is probably one of the characters I will take to 14 and take her along with Dark Dimension as well. Her basic is not being useful.
Interesting. I wish I did basic as well.
The basic, and then this instant upgrade only works on a Wakandan team, and I don't use her with Wakandans. I mean, what are your thoughts about Shuri?
I use her in the raids all the time, but yeah, that does not make a difference if she's not on a Wakandan team, and I question that basic one as well.
Yeah, basic one was not helpful. I mean, the reason why these got the T4s went on these basics is I was like one hit away from clearing a node several days in a row, and it's just like I just need a little bit more damage. And
makes sense. Your logic makes sense.
Yeah, and then it's just like, it didn't work out. YoYo fixed all of that. YoYo and Black Bolt fixed all the damage output problems.
Changed the whole Ultimate 7 teams.
Yeah. So Black Bolt.
Cannot argue with any of those. That is an awesome character.
Yeah, and you can't see it here on the screen, but he is a 5 red star, 5 gold star, and I have the 6 red star just waiting for the gold star.
I am so jealous of your red stars on Black Bolt and YoYo. Oh my goodness.
All the T4s, and we could title this video "Why YoYo is Awesome," because it's hard to see it on paper, but it's all about this passive, right? So why is YoYo awesome?
Right there, the offense down on the enemy. I mean, if nothing else, every time the enemy goes, they're getting offense down, which is a 50% reduction in damage. So it helps with the survivability of the team and lets you bring in other characters that can bring in the damage, like Black Bolt. So and they're a good pair as well. So awesome move.
So there's really only 2 ways that I know of off the top of my head to get around this offense down. Is first of all, Captain Marvel, when she does her ultimate and goes into binary, she gets rid of that offense down. So on
Deadpool has a similar type of thing as well that will get rid of it. But.
So and there's also some wonky synergy here with Symbiote Spider-Man where he's constantly healing because of that also, because the negative status effects are being applied to their team constantly. So that's kind of fun. But right here, if you're playing against a Yo-Yo, your Captain Marvel, that turn 1 nuke, does not going to have the offense down. But it's really frustrating, when you have Phoenix and Dark Phoenix does this the massive AoE and it has offense down. It doesn't even kill the Ultron bots sometimes. It's just like, whoa. That's how powerful it is.
I've noticed that in Arena.
Your Phoenix ults and your Ultron bots survive just because of Yo-Yo. And the other way of getting around this is her basic attack will call an assist from Black Bolt, who will not have offense down. Think about that.
I didn't know that mechanic was like that.
So she'll attack and then she'll have offense down, which is fine. But Black Bolt will come behind her.
That's the real reason you're using her basic.
Yeah,
right?
Strip away negative status effects, and he will do damage because Black Bolt's a beast. So I'm just gonna say this: her basic attack is probably the most vital T4 right here because it bumps it from like 70% to 100% assist, and I'm using it specifically with Black Bolt, and Black Bolt is stripping away negative positive effects. So and he won't have that offense down if there's an opposing Yo-Yo. It's fantastic. And then this right here boosts her focus so that the offense down actually sticks.
That one is really important.
Yeah.
That one's really important.
And taking her to 14 is going to boost her focus. So that's kind of important. And then this is just fluff.
I like this one. This is a good one. 3 additional hits instead of 2.
Yeah. And so this is an efficient T4. Definitely drastically boosts the damage. This gets rid of like deflects. It does all kinds of fun stuff. And then this here is just fluff, in my opinion.
Questionable. Yeah, 50% extra damage on an AoE. That's like kind of a baseline for AoE attacks.
Yeah. So I think a lot of Yo-Yo's effectiveness also has to do with her speed being 140 and her synergy with Black Bolt. But it's really Black Bolt plus Yo-Yo. It's kind of like saying Magneto is good with Juggernaut and Nick Fury is good with shield security. It's kind of like the same
every
thing.
Legendary has a protector that goes with them.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So, but I think she is the key to, she's been my personal key for one-shotting almost all of the nodes up to the 3rd mini-boss. In the mini-bosses, I have to use Phoenix, but after that 3rd mini-boss, it gets rough. And Yo-Yo seems to be the only reason why I don't just get one shot. You go in there and your team just gets deleted. How do you get offense down without Yo-Yo? I mean, the team, it's just, you need Yo-Yo. And then you need I
got a question about your Ultimate 7 scores. You said you're doing a lot of it in an auto.
Yeah, I'm doing almost all of it on auto.
My goodness.
Almost all of it on auto. Like 90% of it on auto. I get you have to get the match started. So like you have to play the first 30 seconds manually, and then you have to play the last 30 seconds manually. But you don't want to have your cooldown screwed, so you have to watch it. But
Ultron,
you have to watch your Ultron. But once you have it kind of set up and Scientist Supreme has flipped the buffs, because you don't want to be wasting AoEs when you're because Black Bolt, if he attacks into slow, he flips the effects on him. So you don't want to be doing like his ultimate or special when he's got all the negative effects from Scientist Supreme. You want to be doing basic attacks. So you have to kind of set it up, and then once it's set up, you can autoplay it. It's fantastic. Yo-Yo, God tier character. She might even be replacing Invisible Woman. She might even bump Invisible Woman off the list.
Yeah, I mean, it's either or. You can't run both of these.
Yeah, you just can't run both together. But definitely God tier character. Wow, Captain Marvel, right?
What can you say about her? She's awesome.
Okay, so like a lot of people ask us what characters we should use the promotion credits to take to. I've got her at 4 red stars. So rattle off some of the characters that you think would be amazing to take to 6 red stars.
I think it's the exact 5 that you mentioned previously. The Captain Marvel, Phoenix, Mr. Sinister, Hela, and my man
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt. I was gonna say Sinister again. I'm like, wait, I just said him. Black Bolt, exactly.
We're gonna talk about Mr. Sinister at length here in a minute because he is. You and I are in a weird situation where we don't have the gold stars or the red stars, but he is the real deal.
I actually have the red stars. I don't have the gold stars to make it worth it, though. So yeah.
Yeah. So Stream talked me out of doing this one the other day.
I know you like those basics. You like those basics just to complete the characters. I mean, if you want to be a completionist, I get it.
I should stop doing these basics. If I used her in U7, I might do it, but I don't. I use her in
you're
Arena,
a completionist. You're a completionist. Even if it's not a good skill, just finish the character. I think that's what's happening there.
Yeah, I don't know. She wins me war, man. I got 2 defensive wins, and imagine if I had her at 6 red stars. My goodness, she gets the wins. Anyways, she gets the W. She's a one-man army. All right, Scientist Supreme is U7 MVP, without a doubt. I think someone else said that Scientist Supreme was the biggest winner of 2019 as far as best rework, most improved, without a doubt. And on paper, this is strange, but it really comes down to giving everybody, yourself included, offense down and defense down, then flipping it so that you have offense up and defense up. I mean, the swing on that is huge. I mean, you go from like getting beat up by U7 to being like flipped all the way around, right?
And if you are quick enough and the other team still has those defense downs on there with your offense down, that is huge. And that's why a lot of the nodes are completed by you one shot.
I'm going to say that U7 is impossible without Scientist Supreme. She's that
sounds
important.
Correct. I think it sounds correct. I think that sounds correct.
U7 is, well, without spending cores.
It's harder.
Yeah, you can, I suppose there's a way with spending cores, but as far as not spending cores, it's like kind of saying like Dark Dimension 2 is all about Minerva, right? Well, U7 is all about Scientist Supreme. It really is. Yeah. I mean, it's all about Scientist Supreme.
Yeah. I mean, even before Black Bolt YoYo, she was vital on any team you were running there.
Yeah. So. And did you end up doing this one? I was trying to talk you into this one.
I like that one. I was noticing that I wasn't needing that extra negative effect. Now I am. So that is one that I might be doing.
Okay. So
because it gives it an extra negative
from
effect.
3 to 4. And what was happening to me is that sometimes that 4th one was heal block and I just get screwed. And so
that's the worst one for raids.
Doing that one right there just seems like okay. So Scientist Supreme is support, MVP U7,
vital.
God tier, and probably going to be Dark Dimension 3 MVP as well. Definitely going to be trying to get her to 14 as soon as possible.
Oh, plus she brings your characters back to life. Let's not forget about that. That helps me in the race.
Yeah, and she heals. It's too bad that you can't do it without Shuri. You really need Shuri though for the deflects and the healing and the defense.
The healing
and more consistently. But she's not like like all you need is Scientist Supreme and 4 attackers. Ooh. Now you still need Shuri in there. Ultron.
You are super close. What are you missing right there? You're
I know,
one
right?
piece away.
It's just I need everything.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, that's easier. Let's see your superior needs.
This is where I'm hurting.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, this is just this is rough.
Oh, that one too. Okay.
Yeah, he's tech and he is very expensive to take to 14, and he should be, but I'm still doing it anyways. He's not an efficient character to take 14.
You're close.
Do we even need to talk about Ultron? Ultron's old news. We're not talking about Ultron. We're moving on.
Build them if you're the questioning. Just build them.
Yeah, just
build as much
do everything on Ultron. Okay, we're moving on. All right, so
okay.
Why is Loki here? Why are we talking about Loki?
He's got some good T4s on him, specifically for an Asgardian team. And if you really are serious about war defense, he's got some good ones that you might want to consider.
So Asgardians are no-brainers for 3 reasons, in my opinion. One, they are nuts on defense and war, right? That's what we're using them for, right? Nuts on defense and war, right? 2, definitely. They're what's unlocked the gate to getting Black Bolt. And 3, Hela. Just Hela. We don't have to say anymore. Just Hela. I mean, Hela is god tier character. So
I'm using Asgardians in the Greek raids.
Oh yeah, you could do all kinds of stuff with. Okay, so kind of maxed out what I need to do in arena for T4s. I've maxed out what I need to do inside of U7 for T4s. So now it becomes defense on war. So I'm looking to Asgardians before other characters like Inhumans and or Supernatural, let's say. I mean, I prefer to jump it into Asgardians. It just seems to be the most effective place. Nobody wants to fight a 400,000 or 500,000 power Asgardian team. Nobody wants to do it.
Jeez, there's no way to one-shot that.
You almost have to two-tap it because the 1-2 combo of Loki's mind control with defense down with Hela's spreading is just a mess. And then
that special is worth some consideration.
Okay, so sell me on this because I'm not sold on this. You said
so I have not done the special, but that one is worth consideration. This one, the 2-turn stealth when he does this ultimate for war defense, that is so annoying. I know you face these teams and you can't get the Hela, you can't get the Thor because of this stealth. I think this one is worth it for war defense. That ultimate of his.
Maybe.
It's worth considering. Throw it in your top 5. Worth considering. At least throw that in there.
I think I'm allocating my next T4 to defense Asgardians, and you said that, and we've got 2 more options, and we're gonna keep going down until we get to
there's another 2. Asgardian that you haven't done as well.
Yeah,
that you might want to consider also.
Hela. Okay, so
that's a good one. The ultimate, I think that's a necessity.
Okay, so here's the thing: is I think Hela is going to be going to T14, and this is
that one's okay.
This is not a super efficient T4. It's helpful, maybe not as helpful as Heimdall or Loki's, but the character is better, and I'm going to be using the character in more places.
And war defense, you get extra damage, you get extra health for her, which means Greg is going to get more health as well.
I did it.
Yeah. Okay.
I did it. That's my conviction right there.
I would have probably done Loki or Heimdall first, but that is not a bad one. That's not a bad one.
Here's the thing: is I'm going to be using her in probably Dark Dimension 3.
Okay.
And I use her in other game modes all the time. Let's just do it.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I'll get to the other ones later. Yeah. I'm impulsive like that, but that seems. See, I go for I rather put it on the character rather than the team. I know it's about the team.
I got you.
But she's standalone character, so I'd rather give it to her.
She's very viable in other game modes, whereas the Heimdall passive only war defense, the Loki passive, the Loki ultimate, it's I don't know how much value that's going to have outside of war. So this one will help other game modes.
She's going to get some extra health, right? And that's fine. And okay, there you go. She gets some extra health. There you go. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, and it helps the war defense as well, slightly.
Yeah,
for the rest of the Asgardians. So,
all right. Well, we'll see. I think that I just rather put it on the character. I don't know. All right, let's talk about Mr. Sinister.
Oh, the good ones.
Okay, so I have 4 yellow star, 3 red star, so I'm ignoring this character, even though I took him to 12. If I had a 5 red star, 6 gold star Mr. Sinister, I would be all over everything on this and explain why. This is mandatory, and this is mandatory on Mr. Sinister.
So regardless of what those 2 do, what it says they do, the important thing about the ultimate is that the clone, if you T4 that means the basic, the special, and the ultimate of the clone is all going to be at the T4 level.
Right.
So that is very important for who he's cloning. The passive, same thing. Okay. The passive of the clone is going to be at the T4 level. So I think those are must runs if you're using Sinister a lot, but you're not using him a lot, so you can wait on those.
So if you take clone right here to level 7, the clone that you clone will be 777.
Yes.
And then if you take this to 5, the clone will be at 5. So by doing these 2, you will have a 7775, and it carries it's weighted proportionally to the number of red stars, and red stars matter on Mr. Sinister. I know Casino has highly recommended taking this guy from 5 to 6. This guy needs all the gold stars and all the red stars you can get. So this guy, dump all your resources into him. Just not there. I'm not there yet.
If you use him a lot, you haven't done it because you don't use him a lot. But when you use him a lot, that you need his ultimate. And his
if I had a 7 red star Mr. Sinister and I had more availability of he's one that I would consider taking from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 red stars, and I would dump everything into him. But it's kind of all or nothing on this guy. So
you got lucky with the Yo-Yo and the Black Bolt. I got lucky with red stars on him. So those were 2 no-brainers for me.
Okay, so I did put the T4 on the passive on Hela. This might have been a better one as well, or at least a more practical one.
Specifically for war defense. That might have been a better one. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see this being useful against most matchups. I think a lot of people are going to be using Fantastic Four. Namor is going to strip this away pretty early. So I don't know. Unless, but it's still going to be good against other teams. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is a good one. It might get stripped, but it might not, depending on the focus of the other character.
You could really throw someone for a loop if they're not planning for this. This is kind of like a sneaky T4 right here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna do one last one. Crystal.
Helps. Extra 20% healing for the whole Asgardian team when they drop below, clearing 3 negative effects instead of 2. I did that one, and
I think that
20% extra health.
I think because the matchup that I'm gonna want to be able to use Inhumans against is Asgardians. Now, it could be that everybody goes cheese. Red Skull in the next couple of months. We figure out how Red Skull, and then Black Bolt will have to be allocated to Red Skull. So I think those matchups are going to be pretty easy. Like I'm expecting my Inhumans to walk over any Red Skull team. And so maybe I won't need that if that becomes the thing in the future. We'll see.
We'll see what his release method is. See how quickly people can get him to 7 stars.
All right. Well, head over to Valley Flying's channel. This was a longer video than normal, and we'll do a roster review of his.
Oh my goodness.
And you see that? You see the time on there?
Very long.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.
Woo!